episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. This is our season finale, and I am deeply blessed and honored to have returning to the stage in her seat, the one, the only Yolanda M. Smith, the brand profession. Welcome to the season finale.
Thank you, Andre. You notice he didn't say the co-host Yolanda M. Smith. I done been booted. Oh my God, I have been kicked off the show. I will be a special guest, but it's all good. It's all good. Life is good. Lots going on.
So let's start with you before I give shouts out to, now let me give shouts out to all the people that literally, because me and you, once we get to talking, we're going to be talking. So let me give shouts out to the fans, yes, the people that like, subscribe, followed us, that
the love, it's all good.
Because we couldn't have gotten through this season without you, without your input, without your support. Please continue to do it into season 4 of 2024. And
because we want more in 2024.
Hey, I like that. Is that a new branding?
Yeah, that's one, and the other one is we're going to soar in 2024.
Okay, she's already throwing it out there.
I'm throwing it out there. Yeah, we got to manifest. You got to start now and manifest what you want. You can't wait till 2024 gets here. Right. And literally, we're only a couple days from. I don't know about you, but I'm not gliding in. I'm storming into that mofo.
What do you know about manifestation?
Okay. See.
What do you know about manifestation?
I know enough to know that the mind is a powerful tool. Okay. And that you have to literally manifest what you want to happen in your life. Right. And you are in control of your destiny. Okay. But what has happened is we've allowed so many other people to take control of that. We've allowed people to tell us what we cannot do, impose limiting beliefs on us and things of this nature. Mm-hmm. But regardless of that, you have an opportunity to flip that switch. Right. And when you flip that switch and you can start to manifest the greatness that you want, you speak it as if it's so. You be, do, have. That means the things that you want, you start being that. You do what the people do that have those things, so that you can then have and manifest it into your life. You don't speak negativity, you speak positive all the time. See, I don't want you to think I'm wrong. Now, you really into that.
I'm sitting here like listening.
You really into that, all that whole energy thing. But for me, it's just about the frequency in which you want to operate on. Right?
Oh, I like that. Wait a minute, say that again.
The frequency in which you want to operate on. And so what we find ourselves doing is our vibrations stay very low. Because that's where people want us. From the time they tell you to go to college, you become a laborer and a worker for somebody else. They keeping you at a low frequency. If you move up to a higher frequency and start working and believing and manifesting in the realm in which you should be operating in, because that's where God wants you to be, then things start changing in your life. Even the people you start putting yourself around, the circles that you engage in, you know what I mean, and the opportunities that come your way, the rooms you start to step in. Even the confidence and the belief in yourself, which then enables you to do things that you wouldn't have normally done. Take risks that, move into that fear. It doesn't mean fear goes away, but you move in that fear. You don't allow fear to paralyze you, right? You manage fear, you don't allow fear to manage you. So this has been all something that over the past year, I spent some time trying to understand. And as a coach, personal branding, business strategy coach, I really feel like that the first work I do with any of my clients starts with the mindset. Right. Starts with the mindset.
And it's funny because shows you the power of the universe. Before we actually start taping, I was actually talking to, actually it's going to be our first guest for season 24, Virginia Drake. And we was talking about the manifestations, and pretty much in season 2024, we're going to really dig deep into that aspect. And I like the way that you shared that you have to reprogram your vibration. With that said, you stepped away for a little while to do that. Were you feeling, was it hard for you to stay on that vibration? What was you feeling like, when you went and start really focusing a little bit more on what you like doing, which is branding for success?
Well, I think you got to remember, I left corporate America in January this year, right? And so for me, there were a couple things going on. One said, okay, you're going to be this entrepreneur, you get to operate your purpose and passion. Great for you.
Right.
The reality of life then started to hit in and say, oh shit, this ain't as easy as you think it is. You thought you had that corporate game figured out and you could just bring that skill set to the entrepreneur's mindset and things would just be jelly. No, it's a big difference.
What was
between-
3 of the things that you said? Oh shit. Because
Um,
people, and I think a lot of people take that for granted. And like you said, they'll leave a particular situation and think they got it all figured out.
yeah.
But once you have to, it's different getting a paycheck from somebody than it is creating a paycheck.
Okay, so
Did I say that right?
yeah, you said it just fine. You said it just yeah, you're exactly right. Okay, here it is. When you got that direct deposit hitting every 2 weeks,
You're happy as hell.
well, but you can choose to give 110% or not. You still getting that paycheck until they discover that you've totally slacked off or you've done something that was egregious.
Is that
enough
giving them
for
the power?
of them to fire you? So you're giving your power to them, but you don't necessarily have to operate at your full potential.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't have to do it as an entrepreneur either, but you definitely ain't gonna get fed. Because once you become an entrepreneur and you realize that everything is resting on your decisions and your actions.
Yeah.
And so when you're in corporate and you go and take a job, 9 times out of 10, the processes and the systems are already in place.
Right.
You just have to follow the process and
Yeah.
the systems.
The
When you
domino
become an entrepreneur, you have to create those systems. And
Yeah, there's a lot of failure too with those.
and not having those systems in place is huge. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Me doing coaching, taking on clients, being very trusting, believing that everybody has the same ethical standards that I have. You agree to a certain payment for a certain service. I'm delivering on my end, and then people decide they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it was kind of funny because early on it was like I felt like God was saying, listen, little girl, I'm gonna give you some bout lessons right now because your stuff is raggedy. You don't know it's raggedy. You think I'm cool, but I had to tighten up contracts. I had to just be business minded, not heart minded, heart centered, because I'm a nurturing person, a giving person. I want to give to people, but you gotta make business be the business, and your gifts are your gifts.
Right.
And so I had to put in serious legal contracts and things of this enforceable binding things to say if I'm going to have a business, I can't, and I'm so giving that I give you so much value that what they would do is they figure they got everything they need and they'll go off, they don't need it anymore. And then there's a 99 excuses why you can't pay to do nothing, right? Okay, that's fine.
How did that make you look at people
That's
from
fine.
that moment on? Because
very differently.
Yeah.
Very differently. And what one of my coaches shared with me, which was powerful, was that you need to do what you do best and you allow the business to do what it needs to do best. Meaning you need to set up the right people, the who's in your business so that they can execute on those things. So now if you don't want to pay me and there's no real compelling reason as to why you don't want to pay me, because I'll try to work with you, but if it's no, then you have to deal with the legal, my lawyer.
Right.
I'm not dealing with it. I'm not coming. I'm not. I have to.
you hate to do that to people, but it's
But
business.
you have to remove yourself
Yeah.
from those situations. So that's one case. When your systems and your processes are in place. Another thing I can tell you is simply this. As an entrepreneur, and mind you, I started my business in 2018, but I didn't go full time until 2023, right? So I've had now.
Yeah, I remember when you went full time. You don't have to reflect on that moment.
Right.
But it was a growing experience. So keep going.
No, but I think it's one of those things too where you realize that if you are not careful, you become the employee in your own business because you're doing everything.
Right.
Operations, marketing, the finance, the delivering of the services, the fulfillment piece of, I mean, you become everything. And it can easily burn you out, not to mention, no one person does everything well.
Yeah.
So that means some things are not getting the necessary attention they need to have that in it. So that was another key learning for me is that you need to find your who. So that at first I was trying to train myself to do everything. Like, for example, I mean, social media is okay.
I was going can I say what you hate? Because I know what you hate.
Oh my God.
You hate pork and you hate social media.
It's just getting in there and doing certain things that it's not that I don't like social media, but when it comes to running Facebook ads and trying to figure out this technology is just one of those things that is not my strong. I'm a creative.
Right.
So if you want to sit down and have a conversation and you're going to give me your idea about what you want to do, I can probably come up with a whole lot of things. That's what I'm good at.
Right.
You want to talk about creating multiple income streams, I'm your girl, because immediately my mind goes to creativity. Once I understand what it is you do, I can tell you 3-4 different ways you can monetize that and make money off of it. You know what I mean? And build a brand right around that so that it's sustainable. So anyway, but those were some of the things, man, and it's not for the faint of heart. But the other thing I'm on this soapbox around right now is the fact that I just put out probably a rant video yesterday. And I didn't mean to rant, but it was 8 minutes. So
I know I saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
I was ranting a little bit about it.
That's why you're here.
Because when I realized the statistics around women entrepreneurs, and on average, this is on average, this doesn't mean everybody, so just listen to what I'm saying. On average, Black women entrepreneurs only make $24,000 a year. That just blew my mind. Whereas the majority are making about 142,000.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I think it's a plethora of things because one is we struggle to get any type of investors, right? That's a huge part. The funding is a big part, which is why I look for creative ways around all that to help people to try to get funding. You know, I don't care whether it's going and getting 0 interest credit cards and you find a credit card that'll give you 0 interest for 22 months. That gives you 22 months of somebody else's money that you can make something happen for yourself. You know what I mean? I like OPM, I like OPAs, other people's audiences, So, and I like OPSs, other people's stages,
Okay.
So.
That's a lot of OPSs.
That's a lot of OPM, right? Yeah. No, but I think, but that was alarming to me because once again, if you look at the data, we're the fastest growing segment in the entrepreneur world. We're the fastest growing, the fastest population segment in entrepreneurship is Black women because they're leaving corporate America tired of feeling invisible, feeling undervalued, underappreciated, underpaid, and enough is enough. But then you come out here thinking, okay, I can do it and get things started, but if this is what the data is suggesting, you still need some support and help in putting your business framework together.
If the data's out there, why hasn't corporate America addressed the issue? Because now what I'm seeing or feeling
now
is
that's
still
for entrepreneurship. That data, the 24,000 is just for women, Black women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, but it seems like that we're not evolving. It seems like that we still are being classified based on race.
Well, you can just go and look at Taraji P. Henson has been on the bandwagon lately about that pay gap. I mean, you can look systemically in any corporation and see that pay gap exists for women as a whole, not just minority group members, but if you want to take it a step further, if the gap exists for all women, it's even more pronounced and worse for minority women. You know, and no, I don't know what's gotten better. So don't get me, we don't want to go that conversation because we're supposed to be having an end of the year set. Wait a minute, we might have to have another meet.
You know what I call this segment? I call it the awakening, because 2024 we're gonna dive into some things that need to be addressed.
Well, it's a lot of stuff coming out these days.
Yeah,
I was like,
it needs
Lord,
to be
I needed
addressed.
to have my show Coffee Black running because it's been some stuff going on. I think 2024 might be the year of exposure. Ooh,
I like that too.
Because you know what they say, you know, what's done in the dark
Comes
shall
out to the
come
light.
to light.
That's what we call awakening. 2024 is awakening. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna expose some shit. Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna expose the world.
I mean, it is shit. A lot of it is bullshit.
Based on what you just said, because I know what you're passionate about, and it's not about you.
Right.
Let me clarify that up right now. I know where your heart is. I know you want to see everyone succeed, no matter of gender, race, creed, religion. That's the kind of person that you are. What are you going to do in 2024 to address these issues in your own business?
So
I came at you with that one, didn't I?
Yeah, but it's okay. Shoot me right here, because I'm ready for you.
Open the third eye.
I've been thinking about this stuff. First of all, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm offering a free, I call it the VSGB Masterclass. That's your vision, strategy, goal, and brand masterclass. I give it free. This is the second year that I've done it for free. I'm giving it free because I want entrepreneurs, even professionals, you know, coaches, speakers, to be able to make sure you truly understand what a strategy is. Because so many people don't understand that, and they say, well, my strategy is to do this, this, and this, and their tactics. That's not a strategy. Mm-hmm. You know, the strategy is the what. You know, I'm not asking you how you're going to do it. I'm asking you, what is it you're trying to accomplish? But I'm doing that first. That's on January the 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Free of charge for them to come. And maybe we'll drop the link in the comments or put it somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing, because I'm trying to give you the knowledge. Right. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to at least understand what it is, some key components to success. What are some of those key components? Because the truth of the matter is, you know, I posted something yesterday that was a quote from Jimmy Dean, I think. Like he said, I can't control the wind of the sail, or have the wind of the sail of whatever. You can't control that, but you can always change courses to get to the direction you want to go. Mm-hmm. Right? I can't control the wind and where it may take the sail, but what I can do is I can make sure that I'm positioned so that if I need to pivot or change courses, I can go to get to the direction I choose to go. Right. You know, and that's the other thing too. People gotta understand, you gotta stop thinking everybody owes you something and they gonna give it to you. No, you gotta figure it out for yourself. Mm-hmm. Gone are the days of put your head down, work hard, somebody's gonna recognize you. No. We live in a very competitive, very cluttered, digital environment. How are you standing out? Because believe me, if you just sitting there working hard, I was a leader in the pharmaceutical industry for years. I liked you because I needed a couple of hard workers on my team. If you never really expressed that you wanted to do anything different and you seemed happy and you were always, we need some worker bees, right? Right. Now, if you want to do different, further your career, advance your career, whatever, we can have those conversations too, because there's all different types of people.
Let me ask you a question.
But wait a minute, let me just say that's number one.
Okay.
But number two, I'm gonna keep coaching. Okay. You know what I mean? And speaking. Okay. You know, so that I can get the word out there.
We've been together for going on really 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. We've been together 3 seasons. And the one word that surfaced more than any word is branding. Mm-hmm. how do you determine who's the best fit when it comes to branding? Every time I turn around, I see branding coach, branding this, branding this. You said something during the second season or first season. I can't remember what season it was, but um, a lot of information, a lot of words bring confusion. How do we? What if I'm looking for that brand, that teacher? How do you get rid of the confusion? I'm tired of going to social media and every time
Everybody profess to be the coach.
everybody's the coach.
Yeah. Well, that's what the 2020 pandemic did for us. It created a whole lot of coaches. Now, let me just say this. When it comes to coaching someone, there's two schools of thought. You can go and you can get trained by like the coaching federation or these things and get a certification, or you can be like me, someone like me that has lived experiences, had to figure out how to get out of those experiences, and through that discovered something that then I was able to create a framework around and a process around
Trials and tribulations.
and have replicated on many occasions with many clients to know it works.
Okay.
So I think the key is if you're looking for something, and keep in mind, I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So nobody's everybody's everything.
Right.
The right person has to have that fit and that vibe and that chemistry with their coach.
Right.
You have to, three things are required. One is you need to be coachable. And we got a whole lot of people out here swerving down, they want to coach, but they ain't coachable. You'll give them guidance and recommend things they should do, help them to come up with
How
solutions.
do a person know if they're not coachable?
When they know everything, they think they know everything. Because I used to not be coachable.
Really?
You know, I tell it. One of my first, literally outside of corporate mentors, um, uh, from a business perspective, was Linda Clemens.
Okay.
And she'll tell you I was probably one of the hard-headedest, most stubbornest people when it came, because it was hard for me. Let me tell you, when you were in a high-level position in a Fortune 500 corporation, I mean, you got there because people valued what you did know.
You brought something to the table.
Yeah, and so sometimes it was difficult to accept the feedback someone else was giving you or in the things they were telling you because you had done things on such a different level.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say this. When I really had to come to Jesus with myself, and I don't remember the exact moment it was, but it was a moment where I realized I had to be coachable because I wanted to be successful.
Okay.
And it required me to shut my mouth and listen. Look at you, you like, oh, I know that was hard for her.
I didn't I'm not saying shit.
Oh my God. But when I had to shut my mouth and listen and think about, these are people that have been places I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it starts. There has to be a level of respect there. Typically that person should be where you want to go, where you desire to go.
Right.
You know, you rarely have peer coaches. Mm-hmm. Now, if that's the case, then I would call that a different relationship where we figuring it out together. You know what I mean? But from a coaching perspective. Number two is you made me forget. Coachable. What's number two? Oh my God, my brain just went dead. But resourceful.
Okay.
Because here's the other thing. We will swear up and down, we ain't got money, can't spend no money to invest in ourselves.
Oh my God, I hear that all the time.
Me nuts.
That's probably my biggest pet peeve with people.
We do it all the time. We will not invest in ourselves, but we'll invest on ourselves. So we'll have the fattest gear on, the designer this, the designer that. We look good.
It takes money to make money.
We won't invest in ourselves. We won't invest in ourselves. I can't tell you how many times, and I call them nibblers. They want to come around for all the free stuff.
Oh, okay.
Those are nibblers.
Okay.
And, you know, sometimes you just don't have the money yet, and I get it. But let me tell you something. if I'm looking at you and your hair is done and you got bundles in your head, you got your nails are fire, and they should be, don't get me wrong, don't mistake what I'm saying. But you've got designer clothes on and you call yourself a business person. How in the hell can you go and expect somebody else to spend money with you when you ain't even spend it on yourself?
Wow.
That's powerful. How in the hell are you a coach and you don't have a coach? How does this work? But then you want to come around and try to get all the information. That's not going to give you good karma. But once you figure it out, and it can be scary, don't get me wrong. I'm not judging anybody. Dude, I remember making my first $10,000 investment. I thought I had a lump in my chest. When that man said without batting an eye, that'll be $99.97. Not $99.97. I'm thinking $99.97. He said, no, that would be $9,997.
Wow.
But he had already preempted me to say, do you think I can help you with it? I done said yes to everything. So then you sit there foolish, kind of saying, okay, no. And so then he said, so you know what I said to him? I just sat there for a minute. I said, wow, okay. Didn't quite expect that. And my next question to him, which was the same question I gave to Linda, can I make payments?
Oh, yeah. And let me tell
You know what he said? Sure, you can make two.
Yeah, but let me cap on that for a minute too, because when you may only have $500 in your pocket, and the price may be out of what you might consider out of reach,
right?
Ask that question. Can I make a payment arrangement?
Yeah.
Why? It is shorten your. It may you gonna still get your goal.
You
your
can
dream.
make 1,000 excuses, and an excuse will never get you a result. There's not an excuse I've met today that has ever gotten anybody a result. So you have to become comfortable knowing that you deserve it.
Right.
And that you can make that investment in you. Because once you make it in you, that level of confidence, I can remember my confidence level just shooting through the roof. Because you know what, if nothing else, I poked out my damn chest like I just spent $10,000 on me, and I'm going to get what I need to get out of this. You know what I mean? Because when you pay attention. Everything good ain't free, and everything free ain't good.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of learning that and helping people to break through that stigma, because if you think about how we were born and with the limiting beliefs we were born with, money don't grow on trees. Oh my God, you're going to spend that much money on that. Oh my God, a penny saved is a penny earned, or,
really successful individuals.
Save it for a rainy day. I don't need a penny for a rainy day.
Yeah.
I need a damn umbrella.
Yeah.
On a rainy day. Because I'm going to have my money invested to where I ain't saving it, because I've never met a wealthy person that got wealthy saving money.
Well, I can't understand this. Why individuals wouldn't invest in themselves? Like, tomorrow's not promised.
They don't take a bet on them because they're not confident. They don't believe. The mind has been so crippling based upon their past experiences, based upon their exposure, based upon what they've been taught, what's been ingrained in them.
The mind is a terrible thing.
It has the power to create and the power to destroy. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And so the work that I found myself doing, I said, oh, I'm going to be a personal branding expert. And I went and did everything I needed to do. And, that's a whole thing. That I've been doing that since 2013, right? The key, what I realized, though, that I've been doing now within the past, 2.5, 3 years.
It's 2.5.
Is the mindset. The mindset.
Because I read your book 2.5 years ago. And
I probably didn't have a lot in there on the mindset, maybe a little bit. But
this was.
You talking about reputation?
This was the game changer.
Yeah.
This was the game changer.
Yeah.
I think it set the standards for individuals to. It makes you, this book made you. If you didn't understand your brand, this brought it to the point that you had to go. I need to either reevaluate or I'm undervaluating who I am as a person.
And you know what's interesting about that book? That book won an award, and one of the reasons it won an award was because they said that I explained it with such simplicity,
right,
that I didn't try to, even though I had all these credentials and all this education, I didn't try to complicate it with big words and try to create confusion. They said it was such clarity in the writing.
I don't like big words. That's why I read it. Remember when I called you, I was like, okay, I just read this book.
Yeah, and it don't take you a long time to read.
I was like, okay,
I didn't want to make it a super thick book. That I wanted it to be practical and actionable. And that book today still sells very well. It's amazing. Which again becomes another stream of income. That's called passive income, in case you don't know. But yeah.
When you see going out, we're wrapping up 2023. What have you taken from this year for yourself? What have you learned for yourself? What? Give me 3 things that you gained and 3 things that has completely made you look at life different going into 2024.
Well, one of the first things I can say that has been a total positive is I love being the boss of me. And
okay. Was that aimed at me? Like, okay, you don't want to sit in the chair no more.
But I like being the boss of me. And I didn't, and I worked in corporate America for decades. You know, I didn't realize how liberating and how freeing it was. Mm-hmm. But again, I positioned myself for that, right? So that was the one thing. I think the second thing I really learned is that entrepreneurship is hard. As rewarding as it is a lot of work, and it's not for the faint of heart. And it's no surprise why most businesses are out of business within 5 years. It's not surprising to me now, you know, really digging into all the back end and the details, which is why I want to teach people the framework more so than just having an idea and going straight to a product or a service. There's all this mid stuff that if you don't structure and set this up properly, once the initial ha-ha is over and the excitement, you're not going to have anything to fall back on. No plan, no strategy on how you're really going to get to where you're trying to go. And a lot of people don't even set goals, just simple goal setting. They don't do it.
So you got a whole new perspective on being an entrepreneur. You probably went in with such, this is easy, but that it hasn't even been it's been 2.5 years, but you was also jiggling.
I've been doing it since 2018, but it just came full time.
Right.
I started Branding for Success in 2018. I can be honest and say I got real serious in 2019.
Right.
You know, in 2019, and then did it full time this year. So pretty much all year, basically. Right. I mean, I left in January from corporate, and so I've done it all year. And I think that what it gave me was a deep appreciation. And this is the other thing I learned about myself. I know a lot more than I give myself credit for.
Man.
You know, spending those years in corporate America, being around, doing strategies and business development and customer relations and PR stuff and marketing. I know a heck of a lot more than I gave myself credit for. And that's why I tell people often, that's the point, the reason you have to have a brand, because you can be in one position role today and you only use 1 or 2 skill sets. That doesn't mean that's all you have. Mm-hmm. If you're not helping somebody understand the other 2 or 3 things you do very well as well, or have some expertise in, you can never get tapped on the shoulder for those things. You become the best kept secret instead of the sought after authority.
Wow. You know, before we wrap up, I want to personally thank you for coming to be a part of the season finale. I don't think it would have
to thank me.
No, it wouldn't have been fair to close out season 3 without my ride and die co-partner Plain and simple. And
No, and I'm not going anywhere. It's just that I'm
no,
pursuing other things. And this is Andre. Andre say, I'm telling y'all, I'm going to tell on him.
we'll be back
Andre,
after this commercial.
Andre can go head on, head on, head on, because this is his baby. This is his full-time thing. Andre can do so many shows. He is an incredible networker. By the way, be sure to subscribe, share, like, and comment. And if you know or want yourself to be a part of the show, make sure that you contact us so that we can look and see if you would be a good fit of the show, because we're always looking for interesting stories that really help to elevate others, right? Our goal is to not only entertain you, but to educate and empower you so that you can channel that beast mode so that no matter what comes your way,
You can handle it.
you can handle it. You can overcome. So you know what? It's been a pleasure being your ride or die. And I ain't going nowhere, so don't get too excited. I know now he be saying the Andre the Beast Crayton show ain't saying nothing about co-host, because admittedly, I was probably halftime this year just due to some other obligations, because now I speak a lot. And so the speaking has me traveling. And so it gets very difficult. But when I can be here, I'm going to be here, my friend.
Okay. I mean, I get it. And I like it. And I
So
like
if
to
you
jump
can
in.
have a couple more guest hosts, you can have them, but you are never
I gotta
going
get
to
your permission.
replace me. I'm just saying, you can have them. They can come on and be, how they do it. They did it on like the Johnny Carson show. You have a guest co-host,
Yeah.
or you can have some guest co-hosts. I'm not going to say you cannot,
Okay.
but I am
The
co-host.
I got you.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just be clear on that.
But I knew I had to make sure
I
that first
appreciate
and
it.
foremost that you're here to help close out the season.
Tremendous
Tremendous
guest.
season. You know what? We
Oh
went
my
from
God.
22 episodes, because that was usually our standard format. But it was such a great season that we wound up with 57 extraordinary
Stories.
guests
Yeah.
and stories. And I think we posted on the social media. I can't remember all 57, but every last one of them were truly inspirational. Definitely, they're going to come back, and next season, starting in the next 48 hours, is going to be even more impactful with stories and that beast frame of mind and new businesses, young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And definitely Yolanda M. Smith, the philanthropist, will be back as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year's. Welcome to
Happy New Year.
2024. This has been another exciting episode of the Andre
The Beast
Crayton
Crayton